Listen, new YouTubers, I love you, but you gotta stop doing this. It's time to make some changes. So this is not coming from a place of judgment. I'm not calling you out in a negative way, but in a constructive way. So I'm gonna jump straight into number 1 on this list. Consistency doesn't matter. Now hear me out. I know that it's constantly pounded into our heads on every platform. Everyone's always talking about consistency. But what's the hype about consistency? People can begin to trust and depend on you or your content. I know you've heard everyone saying you gotta be super consistent. Consistency is key. Well, guess what? They lied to you. Sorta. Because the truth is, there's something more important than posting weekly at the start. The only people that understand this about consistency are people who have actually grown through this, and they've all learned this through trial and error. This is what people aren't talking about when they tell you consistency matters most. And how can you be consistent on something if you don't even know a process in order to complete something the right way? For example, I talk to people all the time who like to stockpile their content before they even start. There's a lot of pressure that comes along with consistency that sort of imprisons you and puts a ton of pressure on you. It's brutal. It can make you begin to cut corners or look for shortcuts or not even post at all. The number one thing that I get asked all the time, people want to know how much and how often do I need to post to trigger the algorithm? Oh my gosh. I used to ask the same questions. Don't feel bad. But in the beginning, the algorithm's not gonna buddy up to you anyway. It's not gonna show you any love for a while, no matter what you do. Now, don't get me wrong, the YouTube algorithm is super important to understand once you've learned the process of making good content. Good thumbnails and good titles and higher click-through rate. And if you're so focused on cranking out crap loads of video every week, you're not really focusing on learning who you are as a creator, which is what you should be focusing on. Good creators are cranking out new content weekly, which is definitely the amount that you should be working toward. But as a new creator, you should be focusing on working on your editing style, getting more creative with your storytelling, and making your videos more interesting. So instead of hustling to film a ton, just post the videos as you finish them. Even if that's not consistent, just get the videos out, watch them back, and focus on areas that you can actually improve on. And once you get confident and comfortable with the process of making good content, then you start posting weekly. That's why it's so important to say that consistency can be a bad thing if it gets in the way of learning the process of creating good content. Okay, number 2 on the list, hyping things up with no follow through. We've all done it. I know you've heard it. The big announcements. We're making moves, right? Big things coming. And I get it. I know we get excited. I know we want to share with people, whether it's like changing up the content style or creating a new channel. Anything that's big that you're hyped on in your life, we try to create these big announcement moments where we're trying to build up all this hype. And it's just a way to get your subscribers to be excited about something. Or if you haven't been creating a lot, sometimes I've seen people, including myself, use this as a crutch in a way to keep your subscribers from getting bored, you know, if you haven't been posting a lot, or if you haven't been posting interesting enough content, or you see a dip and you want to go, oh wait, don't go, big things coming. And that's not a good thing to do either. And here's why. The problem is this tends to hype things up more than they should be. It tends to get us over promising on things and under delivering on those things. We can't even live up to the hype. Don't get me wrong, it's totally cool if you're like so pumped on your idea or so pumped on the things that are actually coming, the things that you're working on. Like, I'm not saying that there's not big things going on in your life, but I'm saying don't hype it up and don't draw people in with this big announcement. This creates a culture of distrust and inconsistency for your viewers. And from my experience, they learn pretty quick that they can't actually count on your word. It's never a good thing to make promises that you can't keep. And if you're all talk and no action, people can see that pretty quick. Ultimately, it just leads to these huge letdowns because you can't deliver on this hype that you built. Take it from me, I'm a classic big talker, well, recovering big talker. So instead of all the big talk, just get into the habit of doing, taking action. This will have a bigger impact than any big announcement that you could do because you're actually delivering it. Action speaks louder than words. Number 3, I've done it. I've been tempted to do it. I've seen other creators do it, other large creators, small creators do it. brace yourself. The temptation to get views through ads. Ads are actually a really good way to push product or services for business and get it in front of a bunch of eyes that they've never seen their product or service before. And it can be easy to fall into the get views quick mindset. I know, I've been there, done that. That video actually probably will get more views if you put some ad dollars behind it. But here's what I can tell you. Here's when most people fall into this trap, is when you just start making some money on YouTube and you want to invest that back into your channel. But I can tell you this, ads might be getting your video out and getting more views and getting more people to see it, but it doesn't mean that these are the right subscribers. You want to create content that's actually going to draw the right subscribers in, because does it really make a lot of sense to spend money to get it out in front of a bunch of people, let's just say, who are looking for guitars, but you make content about boats? It doesn't make sense. You see what I'm saying here? Plus, those viewers aren't likely to subscribe to your channel anyway, so even if they did view your video through the ad, that's really it. You're never gonna get anything else from that. So I almost see those now as empty views. Instead, focus on viewers that will connect with your content organically. Focus on solving problems inside of your niche. These viewers are already searching for content like yours, and they will keep coming back because you're providing valuable content for them. So buying ads or running ads really isn't the best way to invest back into your content. So instead of paying for ads, why not invest in some better software for editing or thumbnail creation, like Adobe Creative Suite? This will actually really truly help you scale your channel. And if you create a thumbnail and a title that really just pops out and stands off the page, you're gonna get a higher click-through rate, which means you're gonna get higher views. And YouTube already does a pretty great job of getting your content out in front of fresh eyes with the recommended feed and with the suggested feed. And actually, on my main channel and this channel, the majority of my views do not come from subscribers, and I didn't even have to pay for those views. And speaking of spending money, this leads me to number 4 on my list. Don't rush into buying all the newest gear, the most expensive YouTube gear. I know it can be extremely tempting to do so, but you gotta resist the urge to keep up with whatever Jake Paul's camera guy's using. And I know it can be super tempting to want to rush in and get all the newest gear or all the best gear to like up your quality, because again, I know you want to invest back in your content. And I know that you're thinking, oh, I'll get this camera, this is just gonna make our video so much better. This gear is gonna impress other content creators. This camera is what all the big YouTubers are using, and it's gonna impress everyone and make everyone think that I'm like a legit YouTuber. Although I am a big believer in most cases to fake it until you make it, in this case, I say use whatever camera gear you have to start with. And I can tell you, as someone who fell into this back in the days when I was playing music all the time, my pedal board looked like you could basically run a space station from the ground. All that expensive guitar gear did not make me a better player. In fact, it actually did something way worse. It set an expectation of other guitar players who are actually way better than me, thinking that I would be at a lot higher level because of how much I've invested into my craft or my skill on playing guitar. I was thinking, oh yeah, it makes me look more legit. Well, it kind of did. So then I set the expectation way up here, and then I under-delivered when it came to actually playing guitar. I'll be honest, good gear does make a difference when you know the process of creating good content. It's like the cherry on top. It's the sprinkles. It's what makes it all the more better. Like this rig that I'm filming on right now, and the lights and everything, you're looking at like $4,000, $4,500 for what I'm filming on right now. But probably like 90% of what makes content great is not because of the gear. It's because of the storytelling, the creativity, the way that the flow of the story goes in the video, the charisma of the person on camera, knowing the audience and providing solutions to their problems. I mean, honestly, posting and making videos from your phone is the same process as making videos with big expensive cameras. You don't need that in the beginning. All you should be focusing on is learning the process of creating good content. Okay, number 5 on this list. This is a little bit deeper of a topic. Something I've personally struggled with, something that almost every creator that I've met, I know some of the biggest creators on the planet, and we've all dealt with this same stuff, especially in the beginning. So number 5, needing people's approval. Affirmation. needing too much affirmation. If you're constantly seeking affirmation to tell you that what you're doing or that your vision or your dream or your mission or your content is good enough, you're gonna end up in a bad spot. Don't seek people's affirmation and people's approval to get your foot in the door, to get moving, to get going, because there's a 500 hours of content being uploaded every minute to YouTube. You need to get in there, and you need to get in there fast, and you need to start making good content every single time you post. So if you're one of the people who are questioning that and asking people constantly like, what should I do? Is this a good idea? Do you think I should post this on YouTube? The answer is yes. Do it. Post it. Post it today if you can. If you're putting too much value on like the vanity side of things, like the likes mean too much to you, right? It gives you validation. Or if the views give you validation, or the comments and the engagement and the channel growth, the subscribers, it gives you too much validation, you're gonna end up empty. You're gonna end up hurting and in a sad place, and you don't want to do that. What you need to do is be confident in yourself, be confident in your content, put in the work, put in the time, put in the research, figure out the niche that you want to be in, and then provide value for that niche. Being a YouTuber is cool, but when you start to attach and tie your identity to those things, you could wind up, you know, feeling really down and really depressed and anxious when your views and your likes and your engagement drop. And it will happen because it's a roller coaster. Being a content creator is a roller coaster. Seasons change and things change, but that's why you have to be secure in who you are as a content creator. And that's why I'm telling you all this, because I want you to be confident and secure in who you are as a content creator. Know your mission, know your niche, know your values. And if you quit, then you'll never have the chance to succeed. You'll never know if you could have succeeded in this if you don't give it enough time. Thanks for watching, guys. I believe in you. I'm excited to see your channels grow. And if you're serious about taking that next step into being a content creator, check out this video that I made right here. This will actually help you from start to finish getting started on YouTube. I'll catch you next video.